Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
Alright, is there fog where you live? And two, are you feeling a little sick or off lately? Because I'm seeing this all over social media and it's starting to get weird now. I mean, even me, I was just brushing it off because there's fog this time of the year, but usually fog doesn't stay for multiple consecutive days, and people are alleging that they're walking into this fog and it smells not normal. Some people are saying they're walking through it and their body just feels really off after, and it's really dense too. There's a lot of dense fog warnings in the United States, and now I'm seeing in the UK some airplanes are having trouble even taking off because there's a lot of fog there too. Like I said, I know fog is normal this time of the year, but the amount of social media posts I'm seeing about this is starting to get concerning, so I'm hopping on here to ask you if you guys have any experiences with this.
I've been seeing a lot of posts like this as well. People saying that they feel sick and blaming it on the fog. I just don't know that I believe there's anything to this. I just feel like we need a little bit more evidence than a few TikTok videos. Personally, I think this is just people trying to stir up conspiracy in relation to the drone situation.
Yep, this is it for us, as experts have found angry, violent beings leaving the Vatican after the portal opening, and they've been watching us. People were terrified after the Vatican live-streamed an alleged never-opened-before portal at St. Basilica on Christmas Day by Pope Francis, and the eerie footage shows his face then turning pale white with terror alongside the haunting sounds of a child laughing. But this gets creepier as the stream shows all the popes entering the portal and their faces turning into demons all in real time, with many experts saying they don't know if something evil was going in or coming out.
It's like, oh, that's just a little pope over there. Let me zoom in. Wham! What is that?
St. Basilica is known for some of the evilest and violent popes being buried underground there, with their spirits once being locked in, seemingly all now being let out by Pope Francis, who is seemingly trying to call upon them now. And 2025 might be the last year for us. Other more likely theories suggest it's just something the Pope does for Jubilee and not a big deal.
I feel like I've seen that video footage before where their faces were clear and not all distorted like that, so I'm pretty certain that footage has been messed with. However, I put this in here because I have a question. If they haven't opened that door in 25 years, how did they get that camera angle from inside the room whenever he opened the door? I think someone has been in that room recently to at least set up and operate that camera. I think this is all a show. Something about it does not add up.
The new thing, he's off the COVID vaccine. He already cashed in his stock for the COVID vaccine. He made $500 million off his COVID stock for the vaccine. While you got locked down and weren't allowed to go to work and make money, he bought $55 million worth of stock that went 10 times in value. And now watch the next thing he says, because he just cashed in that stock. So the new thing is nasal COVID thing because it blocks the infection. But watch this.
We also need to fix the three problems with vaccines. The current vaccines are not infection blocking. They're not broad, so when new variants come up, you lose protection. And they have very short duration.
So now he's on the vaccine, and now he's pushing this new thing. Because I was like, well, he cashed out his stock on the vaccine, and now he's invested in this new thing. Is he invested in this new thing? I don't know. Let's look. This is the Economic Times Industry Gates Foundation to fund 2 COS for vaccine research. 2 companies, is that what that is? For vaccine research. New Delhi, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will fund 2 Indian firms, Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech. Wait a minute. That's the people doing this.
This is just confirmation of what should be obvious to everybody. The people at the top do not make decisions based on what's best for us, but for what's best going to line their pockets. This is such a clear conflict of interest. I can't believe they allow this guy to be on so many health panels whenever he's clearly just in it for the money. Our systems are so broken. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at berry-stepp.com.
Why is it the ancient gods all carry this bag alongside with a pine cone? Even the Pope carries a pine cone. Vatican has the pine cone with the dome. Bags are the carrier of things and they can be passed on, and it's always carried in their left hand. In the Kabbalah, the right represents wisdom, the left represents knowledge. This represents the carrier of secret knowledge, of how to activate the pine cone. The left is the knowledge, the right is the applied knowledge, wisdom. Pine cones can be open or they can be closed. Pine is pin, which is the pineal gland. a spiritual gland in the brain which acts as an antenna for our consciousness. You have a physical body and a spiritual body, but most humans are stuck in their physical form. This bag is the secret knowledge of how to activate our spiritual body by activating our pineal gland, going from asleep to awakened, from darkness to the light, from hell to heaven. Pineal gland is not the third eye. Pineal gland is an antenna, a receiver of consciousness. The mind is the third eye.
I think this could be partly accurate. There's certainly some significance to that pinecone symbol showing up everywhere, and it would make sense that this is the meaning behind it. I just don't know that I can get behind the idea he eventually takes this to with the whole "you are your own god" stuff.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Nikola Tesla was tasked with inventing a death ray back in the early 1900s, which he was allegedly successful in doing so in 1908, harnessing the power of some sort of particle accelerator? I mean, he also discovered that you can harness electricity straight up out of thin air, but, we're not supposed to talk about that. Wouldn't it be crazy if Tesla allegedly tested this death ray machine, accompanied by his associate George Scherf, atop the Wardenclyffe Tower in Long Island on June 30th, 1908? And I mean, wouldn't it be just downright kind of a crazy coincidence if on June 30th, 1908, that's the very same day that the Tunguska event happened in Serbia? For those that don't know, the Tunguska event was an explosion of unknown origin which decimated 500,000 acres of land instantaneously. The official story was that an asteroid must have done it, but, And wouldn't it be crazy if after Tesla died, Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, was tasked with investigating all of Tesla's inventions on behalf of the Office of Alien Property, allegedly looking for like the death ray and other things. And stay with me here, but wouldn't it be crazy if back in 1893, a book was published by Ingersoll Lockwood called Baron von Trump, following the life of a young rich American who travels to Russia with an oversized head and a penchant for making up mean nicknames for every other character he meets in the book. Ingersoll Lockwood also wrote another book called The Last President in 1896, okay? A fictional tale in which a New York businessman who lives on Fifth Avenue runs for president and wins, which causes America to erupt into riots and civil war. Trump Tower's on Fifth Avenue, by the way. So, having said all that, wouldn't it be crazy if Nikola Tesla invented time travel and then the Trumps got a hold of that? I don't know. Have a good one.
I don't think for a second that Donald Trump is a time traveler. I personally feel like this theory is a bit ridiculous. It's fun, but it's ridiculous. The reason I put this in here was all the talk about that death ray and the explosion that happened on the exact same day they tested it in Serbia. I've never heard of this before, and I'm just curious to know if any of you have looked into it and know if that connection has been thoroughly investigated. That seems like a pretty obvious thing to look into.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, and I want to do a quick update about a document that got passed by the United Nations this weekend called the Pact of the Future document. It's two parts, one on science and technology and one about the youth and future generations. It is quite egregious, and it was done by a procedure called the silence procedure, which makes it a pact. And if no one objected, it is automatically adopted and put into the record as being completely adopted. This is the World Health Organization's runaround, or end around. Since they were not able to get the World Health Organization treaty passed, they decided to take it to the General Assembly. And it is even more egregious than what the World Health Organization was wanting to get passed. Let me just read you something really quickly about what is inside of this pact that is now being accepted by 193 nations around the world and equally open-armed accepted by our current administration. Everyone, it says that this is the power structure, fully digital and maximized for the control of the masses. Everyone will be expected to have a biometric digital ID that marks them not just as citizens of an individual country, but as a global citizen. So anytime you hear global citizen or anytime you hear sustainability, think that this is an egregious thing that's happening at the level of the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Anyone that has a dissonant opinion will be labeled as misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation and memory hold. Perpetrators for unapproved information will be fact-checked and punished by the system, which will be operated and enforced by artificial intelligence. Punishments will include being locked out of one's bank account, being unable to make certain purchases, unable to get on an airplane, on a subway, drive on public roads. This is the future, according to the world's self-appointed overlords at the United Nations. These are unelected bureaucrats that are making decisions about our country, our sovereignty around the world. Nothing could be more important at this point in time than to get prepared. Have water, food, digital access, flashlights, a way to communicate with family and friends. Now is really the time to get involved and get prepared, because this is what's coming. Our Congress is sitting on its hands. There was a press conference on the 17th about this, and no further action has been taken. So it's up to us to mobilize and to go forward, particularly with your local sheriffs, to get your constitutional sheriffs to say, this isn't going to be allowed in my county. Thank you very much. Take action. We've been talking about the onset of one world order, one world government, one world religion, one world money for a long time.
It certainly feels like we're right on the cusp of whatever it is that they're planning. They've been pretty open about what it is that they're wanting with their central bank digital currencies and their 15-minute cities. Every idea they propose is another form of control, and they aren't even in charge of anything. It's mind-blowing to me that we even have to worry about these people. We need to stop giving them money and stop listening to all their suggestions on what's best for humanity. They've shown their hand at this point. It's obvious they're just in this for total world domination, but the only people in a position to do anything about this are all sitting on their hands, hoping that when all is said and done, they'll have a seat at the table.
A Jewish mystical text known as the Zohar suggests that the Ark of the Covenant might have served as a portal, a bridge between heaven and earth. In this tradition, the Ark is not just a vessel for God's presence, but a gateway where the divine could interact directly with humanity. It was believed that in moments of crisis, the high priest could communicate with the celestial realms by invoking the Ark. Some interpretations even suggest that Moses himself used this portal to receive the Torah on Mount Sinai, making the Ark more than a mere artifact, but a conduit to divine knowledge. The Zohar is one of the most important and influential works in Jewish mysticism, especially within the tradition of Kabbalah. It is a mystical commentary on the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, exploring deep spiritual concepts, hidden meanings, and esoteric interpretations. The Zohar is revered by Kabbalists for its insights into the nature of God, the cosmos, the soul, and the hidden aspects of the Torah. It is considered a key to unlocking the mystical dimensions of Jewish thought. The origins of the Zohar are mysterious, and its authorship has been debated for centuries. It is traditionally attributed to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, a sage who lived in the 2nd century AD during the Roman occupation of Judea. According to Jewish tradition, Rabbi Shimon spent many years hiding from the Romans in a cave, where he received divine inspiration and mystical revelations that would later become the basis of the Zohar. In the Torah, the Ark of the Covenant is described as the physical place where God's presence would dwell, specifically between the cherubim that adorned the top of the Ark. According to the Zohar, this presence was not merely symbolic, but an actual manifestation of divine energy in the world. The Ark served as a point of contact between the finite and the infinite. The Ark functioned like an antenna or channel, drawing divine light from the higher realms into the physical world. It was more than just a sacred chest. It was a vessel of divine interaction, capable of mediating between God and humanity. The Ark could act as a portal to higher dimensions, or even to heaven itself. It is said that during certain mystical experiences, such as those described by Moses on Mount Sinai, the Ark served as a means of ascending to spiritual realms. Moses did not simply receive the 10 Commandments. According to the Zohar, he entered a higher dimension, transcending physical reality through the Ark's divine power. The Merkava, the chariot of God, a mystical vision described in the book of Ezekiel. In the Zohar, the Ark is sometimes associated with this vision, implying that the Ark had a role in transporting souls or consciousness to higher planes of existence. It was, in a sense, a conduit for divine travel, enabling those with proper spiritual preparation to transcend the boundaries of time and space. The Ark, according to the Zohar, is more than a relic of ancient history. It is a mystical key, a tool that still hums with forgotten power, lying hidden somewhere, waiting for those who dare to rediscover what it truly is. A portal between worlds, a connection between the finite and the infinite, and a mystery that continues to whisper across the ages.
I think the mystery of what happened to the Ark of the Covenant is one of the most intriguing mysteries in all of Scripture. Just simply knowing what it was supposed to have contained, imagine if we found that. Imagine the studies we could do on it that could potentially prove the existence of God. I have a feeling, though, that that's likely why it's still hidden, because of what we would do with it if we found it. I would imagine that anything that could potentially prove the existence of God would be intentionally held from us, kept secret so that we're forced to have faith without the proof. It just seems that's the way it's supposed to work.
Oh, your ring's real?
No.
Oh. So it was scripted. You knew you was getting them.
Of course, all day, every day.
So y'all knew you was getting them that year.
I did.
Yeah.
It was a script. True story. I never told the story. In the first round, first championship, in the first round, I forget who we're playing. I hear Phil Jackson tell Gary Vitti, hey, get us some hotels in Indiana, because that's where we're going to play in the finals. This was like before game one in the finals, and like it didn't hit me until we got to Indiana.
Or maybe he just knew that they were the best team in the East.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard the man say. We haven't even played one game yet. They were back at me. He's like, yeah, get us some, hotel rooms in Indiana. I don't want to stay in Indiana. I want to stay on the, outside of Indiana.
Are you happy they cast you in the role of Shaquille O'Neal?
Yes, I'm very, very happy. And I'm glad we beat Reggie.
I'm glad I never got sucked into Major League sports. I could honestly care less about football or Major League Baseball players. I don't like watching basketball. I've just always felt like I was wasting my time watching that stuff. It just isn't for me. I feel fortunate, though, because it would be infuriating to spend your entire life rooting for a sports team only to find out that it's all rigged and none of the games are even real to begin with. This would be the end of all Major League sports if it was ever proven.
Have y'all seen this at the Detroit airport?
Well, you'll notice this right after you go through security at the McNamara terminal at Metro Airport.
Yeah, it's a big screen offering up something called parallel reality to help passengers figure out where to go and a whole lot more. Evrod Cassidy live at DTW tonight. This is pretty cool, Evrod.
Oh, it is absolutely incredible technology, Jason and Karen. You just have to see it for yourselves. Normally, when you're trying to catch your flight and you have to figure out what your gate information is, your boarding time, you would take a look at the big board right here and have to scan through all of the different flights that are on there. But now, Delta has created this personalized big board just for you. Watch this.
Oh my God!
This big arch and information desk is getting all kinds of reaction from passengers traveling through Metro Airport.
It's pretty cool.
Passengers like the Adi family had never seen it before and wondered, what the heck is it?
I was kind of surprised. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for because they didn't tell us what we were supposed to be looking for. So when I saw my name up there, I was like, can everybody see my information? Then I realized my sister could only see hers.
My first name is up there. And it says what medallion status I have, everything, pretty much all the details, which gate, how many minutes I had to walk through.
I see you trying to fool me.
There's no fooling here. With each Delta passenger walking through, the board displays only their travel itinerary.
I see that there's nothing on the screen.
But what do you feel for you?
I see that there's hello virtual, thank you for flying Delta.
How in the world does this work? Those people weren't carrying a device to look through or anything. This is like Minority Report, where Tom Cruise walks into the shopping mall and he's getting personalized ads based on the retinas that he's got. This is too freaky for me. I'm not ready for this kind of stuff. This feels like an invasion of privacy is taking place somehow.
Conspiracy theories can lead to demonic possession. Let me explain what I mean. So most of us know that most conspiracies are to hide God and hide the truth in the Bible. Well, some of these rabbit rabbit holes get very, very deep and very, very dark. So when you go too deep down the rabbit hole and stay in the darkness for too long, many lose sight of Jesus. The enemy uses this as a loophole to get to you. Once the person gets very invested and starts trying to understand and expose every little detail, most don't even realize that they're becoming obsessed. They're giving themselves an evil eye. One of the first steps of demonic possession is obsession. So seeing it everywhere and everything that you look, thinking that everything is evil and everybody's out to get you. They're not realizing that evil feeds on our fear and negative emotions. So while you think that you're just waking yourself up, you're literally manifesting demonic stuff around you. So I think if you choose to look into conspiracy theories, it's a good idea to stay pretty surface level and or take breaks between. Our eyes are the windows to our souls, so you really don't want to be just looking for evil all day long, because it will manifest in you. I feel like we should commit to looking for God in our surroundings, and if we're going to do the conspiracy stuff, keep it surface level.
I agree with part of this, but part of it I don't. So she says that if you focus on the negative all the time, that you're inviting negative things into your life. And I absolutely agree with that. But I don't think that staying on the surface level of conspiracy theories to protect yourself from demonic possession makes any sense at all. You're not focusing on the negative if you're searching for the truth. And this is pretty much telling people to not dig too deep. I just feel like that's horrible advice. The closer you get to the truth, the closer you get to understanding reality. That may mean that you encounter some dark truths on your journey, but it's all about your perspective on how you take in that information. I probably focus on this stuff more than any person should, but I don't feel like I'm inviting evil into my life. I'm actually feeling exactly the opposite. The closer I get to understanding the world around me and uncovering the truths that have been hidden from us, the more I see the presence of a creator in the foundations of our world. Doing all this digging is having the exact opposite effect on me. It's all about perspective.
Phones down now, please, folks. You are not allowed to film the show during an animatronic malfunction. We are going to have to complete the cycle of this show despite the malfunction, so if you could please just sit tight, keep your hands in your laps, and keep phones...
Charles Lindbergh is about to fly a single-wing airplane.
Again, for the man in the black jacket, please stop recording.
Oh, that's right, folks. Now Sarah has time for other things.
Again, I want to thank most of you folks for following directions and sitting tight during this issue. We're going to have some Lightning Lane vouchers available for your patients. However, for the man in the black jacket, can you please find a cast member after the performance? Thank you.
I just thought this was hilarious. I threw this in as our good clip of the day. I love to hear the frustration in that employee's voice because the guest isn't complying with their request. I just love seeing people who have a false sense of authority being ignored. And you know the guy in the black leather jacket didn't go find an employee once the ride was over. He got the hell out of there and posted this video to TikTok. I love it. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video on New Year's Day. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com. And don't forget to drop a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video like this one. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone's having a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.